You have said that you have discussed in your course the strategies of terrorist organisations. And you asked, does NATO have a formal counter-terrorism strategy? And you ask also, how does NATO formulate strategy in a given operating environment? A strategy is generally a plan of action towards a long-term aim, or as here in NATO it was described in the 1980s, specifically for the military, it is the manner in which military power should be developed and applied to achieve national objectives or those of a group of nations. Now, I would say that NATO has a hierarchy of strategies. At the top end is the strategic concept, which is like a snapshot of the overall NATO strategy at the highest level. It lists the relevant challenges and it sets out NATO's intended approach. And the strategic concept gives NATO's three core functions: collective defence, cooperative security, and crisis management. And the hierarchy extends down to detailed operational plans that are tailored to a specific situation. NATO formulates strategy in the same way pretty much whatever the circumstances. The alliance maintains a strategic overview of the situation, it holds political military discussions, and it arrives at an accepted view of the issue. And in the event of a crisis, NATO reaches for its crisis management process, and through discussion, taking military advice, ambassadors, as the representatives of the 28 member nations of NATO, reach a strategic plan, and that plan is owned by the 28 as sovereign nations. Military planners will then draw on plans that are already on the shelf and tailor them to the situation. And once a mandate is received and a mission is deployed, the plans, of course, can be tweaked in theatre by the commander of the mission. NATO's counter-terrorism activities take place within the framework of the UN Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy, in the framework also of the relevant UN resolutions and international law. So NATO's work is part of the international response to terrorism. We have at NATO counter-terrorism policy guidelines, which were endorsed at the Chicago summit by the heads of state and government in 2012. And those guidelines set the framework for any strategy to respond to a specific set of terrorism-related circumstances. The military concept for defence against terrorism is, as I noted earlier, being revised to be coherent with the current political guidance.